And I'm delighted now to welcome to the programme Georgia's President, Salome Zurabishvili. Her role is normally a largely ceremonial one in Georgia, but in recent months, President Zurabishvili has been drawn deeper into Georgian political infighting. Last year, the ruling party tried to impeach her, the first time that's ever been tried in Georgia, and now she is at loggerheads with the government over this foreign influence law. President Zurabishvili, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You've been explicitly critical of this bill. You've said on X that not only is it against the will of the Georgian people, but you've called it a Russian law, and you've said it's part of a Russian strategy of destabilization. Strong language indeed, it seems to me. Explain to us what you believe Russia is doing.
Well, first of all, what is clear is that 80% of the population is in favor of the European future, the European integration, the Euro-Atlantic integration, and that has been the case for the last 30 years. So whoever goes against this will of the Georgian people is representing not Georgian will, not Georgian independence, but representing something else. And when the law that is used is a copy of the law that President Putin has imposed upon Russia, with the success and the results that we've seen, no more non-governmental organizations, no more opposition, and everything controlled, that is not a future that Georgian population is ready to accept. That is not a future that I, elected by the Georgian population and elected on the European program, will accept. I will veto the law. I know that the veto will be overcome, but I'm talking there, I'm speaking, I'm expressing the will of the Georgian population, which is shown on the streets. And if you look at who is representing the population, it's essentially the younger generation that is today on the Tbilisi streets to say no to Russia, no to the Russian law.
Well, the Kremlin has issued a statement today in response to all of this. I want to get your reaction to what was said. Let's take a listen then to Dmitry Peskov.
This law is not Russian in any way. And the fact that they are trying to use this internal political process as a tool to provoke anti-Russian sentiments, it is unlikely that these impulses are being fed from within Georgia. They are certainly coming from outside.
So, Madam President, the Kremlin there saying these anti-Russian sentiments are coming from outside of Georgia, outside actors. Who do you think they're referring to?
I don't know who they are referring to. What I can tell you is that anti-Russian sentiments in Georgia are fueled by those that are occupying 20% of our territory and nobody else. So that is very clear for the whole Georgian population, who is the enemy and who are the partners that have been supporting Georgia's democratization, Georgian institutions, Georgian development over the years. It's very surprising that this Russian law is and has been supported all over these last days by the Russians, while all our European and American partners have been saying that they consider that it would be an obstacle to our European path. So I think things are very, very clear.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, about Georgia's attempts to join the European Union. If this bill becomes law, does it fatally undermine your attempt to join the EU?
No, it's certainly an obstacle, and that's what the European leaders have been saying. But we have the 26th of October elections when the Georgian population will have its say, and that is what will determine our fate. So there is nothing fatal, and I'm sure that the use of this law and many other laws that are right now presented by the Georgian majority authorities is designed to raise more obstacles, and that's why I call it a Russian strategy. but there is no obstacle that the Georgian population's will cannot overcome through elections.
You use such strong language to talk about this, and it does seem that it's quite personal for you as well, because last September, the ruling party in Georgia, the Georgian Dream, began this unprecedented process to try and impeach you because they alleged you had lobbied European leaders to try and get that EU bid for Georgia moving. Now, the impeachment bid was unsuccessful, but that must have been quite a moment for you personally. I wonder if you believe now, given the kind of language that you use, is your job secure as the president of Georgia? Do you fear impeachment again?
I don't fear anything, and it's personal as much as I consider that Georgia's European future and perspective, it's the only future for a country that has been fighting for its independence over and over again. And that is shared by the vast majority of the Georgian population. So it's personal and not personal. We are going to fight to defend our independence and our European perspective.
Just a final question. The European Council is meeting today and tomorrow. I know the Middle East and Ukraine are on the agenda, and I understand you've asked European leaders to make sure Georgia's on the agenda as well. Officially, it isn't. Are you concerned your issues are not being taken seriously enough by European leaders?
No, I've had communications with some of the leaders, and I think that everybody is well aware that the situation here is tense and merits attention. It's clear that we are not on the highest priority, and that's a good sign. I wouldn't want Georgia to be on the first priority. That would mean something else. But I'm sure that we'll receive the attention necessary to bring us up to the elections and to consolidate our European future.
President Zurabishvili talking to us from Tbilisi. Thank you very much indeed. It's been really good to talk to you today.
Thank you.